All right. Good afternoon, and a happy Thursday. Welcome to Tips from Elaine's Desk. Elaine Proby here, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, and Tips from Elaine's Desk. All right. So you guys hit like and share on this video. We are going to be talking about tips that will make your tax filing easier for 2024. Again, we're talking about tax filing because we're right here in the heat of the tax season, and this is when most people get so much anxiety. They're really stressed about it, and a lot of times they just kind of want to hurry up and get it over with. So I want to give you guys some tips that you can make it so much easier, and so it will help you mentally and physically, right? So you won't have to do too much stressing about tax filing. So let's jump right into this conversation. Hit like and share on this video. And let's jump right into this, guys. So the first point is you want to review your tax filing status. Now, this is very important. Filing status is super important. A lot of people are very confused as to how they need to file their taxes. This is one of the biggest stress point, right? How do they need to file their taxes? Do you need to file single? Do you need to file married? Do you need to file separated? This is very, very important. And everybody usually is confused about this. Now, there's so many different circumstances that happens along the way throughout the year, changes your tax filing. So you need to review your situation, evaluate where you are, and then you need to determine before you get your taxes filed what your tax filing status should be. Okay. I want to go over what those tax filing status are, and then you can evaluate where you are, your situation, and see which one is best for you. So when you go and get your taxes done, or if you do them yourself, you know exactly what you're doing, right? So, hey, how you doing, Irene? Thanks for jumping in here. Thanks for jumping in. So hit like and share on this video, guys, and let's talk about the tax filing statuses and what it means. Okay, so there's several tax filing status. For instance, if this happens throughout the year, let's say you just got married, so you may want to know whether you should be filing a joint tax return. I get this all the time. People get married sometime in the year and they said, should we file separate or should we file a joint return? So this again is a little confusing. Sometimes they get married towards the end of the year and they want to know, well, should we be filing married, filing joint, right? So again, if you just got married, you want to know what status that is. You should be filing married, joint. If you're separated, you should be filing married, separate. If you're divorced, you should be filing probably single or head of household. So every circumstance that affects you throughout the year is going to depend on how you're going to be filing your taxes. Okay, so you want to know this. You want to be able to evaluate your situation and make sure that that you know what your status looks like, right? Now, some of us may have gotten a dependent or may have lost a dependent. Maybe dependents have moved on. Maybe they got too old, maybe, and it could be an adult as a dependent. Maybe they're filing their own tax return, so maybe you no longer have a dependent. So are you still filing head of household? Now, a lot of people is confused about this. They're like, I am the head of my household. I pay all my bills, but head of household filing status, of course, if you don't have a dependent, guys, you cannot take a head of household status. You got to have a dependent, a qualified dependent. It could be a child, it could be an adult, a relative, whatever, but you have to have a qualifying dependent in order to file head of household. So a lot of people are confused about this. So you may have a dependent, you may no longer have your dependent. If you no longer have a dependent, you may have to be filing a single filing status, right? So all this determines, all of your circumstances determine what your filing status is going to be. So now the other point here is whether you are a widow, right? There's a filing status that you can file if you are a widow. So this, again, depending on your circumstances, whatever happened throughout the year changes what your filing status is going to be. So guys, I wanted to make sure that you're clear on filing status, review this, know what you should be doing before you get your taxes filed. Okay, so are we still live? Okay, are we still live? All right, so hi Laverne, how you doing? If you guys hearing me out there, let me know. Hey Rod, hey Bro, how are you? Thanks for jumping in here. Okay, Joan Bobby, thanks for jumping on. Okay, so didn't know whether we were still live there, but hit like and share on this video, guys. We're speaking of tips to make tax filing easier in 2024. And I just reviewed what the filing tax statuses are and what will affect your circumstances depends on what happens throughout the year. Okay, so those things, your tax filing can change from one year to the next. We all know that. So that's the first point today. So let me jump. Joan says good. All right. Let me jump into the second point today, guys. We are speaking of tips. Make your tax filing easier for 2024. Hit like and share on this video. Second point today. This is so important. So important, guys. Pay attention. Understanding standard deductions. Okay, so these are just few simple points that I need you guys to pay attention to. Understanding standard deductions. Now, a deduction reduces your taxable income, which means you pay less taxes. All right, just important. So now there are two statuses. There's two standard deduction. Two deductions that you can take. One is itemized deduction, and the other one is standard deduction. I know you guys hear about that. Am I itemizing? Am I doing the long form? This is what they're talking about when you're asked that question. And or am I taking the standard deduction? Now, I want you guys to understand standard deduction. Now, if you have certain deductions, for instance, mortgage interest, state taxes, property taxes, medical expenses, insurance premiums, gave donations, things like that. This is when a person says, I'm itemizing, and they're doing the itemized deductions, and they're taking those deductions and writing them off against their income. However, if you're not one of those folks and you don't have any of those mortgage interest, property taxes, and all that stuff to write off, don't worry. There is standard deductions. Standard deductions is what the government put in place based on your filing status, so you can still get some deductions. You don't have to own a house and do all that stuff. There's standard deductions. For instance, if you are single or married separate, they allow you to write off $13,850 in 2023. This number changes every year. So you can still write off some deductions, the standard deduction. If you're married filing joint, that deduction is $3,800. And if you're head of, $27,700. And if you're head of household, it's $20,800. So don't worry if you don't own a home. Don't worry if you cannot itemize. There are standard deductions that the government allow you to take, will reduce your taxable income and allow you to pay less taxes. Okay, so I hope everybody gets that, because a lot of times people are confused and they're thinking that they have to itemize so they can get a deduction, but no, you have standard deduction the government allow you to take based on your filing status. All right, everybody get it? Okay, so hit like and share on this video. Let me know that you completely get this, guys, and let everybody else get this information. These are some simple points that it is so important for you to understand the difference between the standard deduction and the itemized deduction, and know that if you don't fit into one, you will fit into the other, right? So you take whichever one is the highest. This is what you got to do. Whichever one's the highest, works best for you. Those are the deductions that we're going to be taking. All right. So this is the second point today, tips to make your tax filing easier in 2024 so that you wind up having a lot less stress. Now, we are going to talk about on the third point, what you need to do to reduce more of your stress. And the third point, guys, is consider professional assistance. Now, this is super important. A lot of folks says, well, I can file my taxes. There's all these software out there. I can pick a software and I can get my taxes filed. So, of course, they would try to do it themselves, which is fine. If you understand the process, go ahead and file your taxes yourself. However, if for any reason you are in doubt, if for any reason you feel like you don't know enough about it, get some professional help, guys. I'm telling you, it will ease the stress. It will make sure that your taxes are filed more accurately. If you are in doubt, it will cost you some money, but I'm telling you, it's going to cost you a whole lot more if you don't know what you're doing and you make mistakes, and or you may take deductions that you shouldn't take and then trigger an audit. So that will cost you a whole lot more money, right? So you want to make sure that you get professional help so that you can get your taxes done accurately. It's going to be well worth your while. And of course, release the stress. This is the whole thing. You want a stress-free tax filing season. Again, so many people are so worried about getting taxes done because it's something that you have to do. And a lot of people are so concerned and they're so worried about it. And so again, get some professional help, relieve that stress, At least you know that they know what they're doing. You can make sure they're qualified. Make sure they're qualified. They know what they're doing. They're very experienced at this stuff. And it will save you a lot of time, a lot of headache. And of course, make sure that you get your fair share of your taxes, because if you don't know the deductions, they should know the deductions. That should help you get a larger refund and make sure that you get all the credits that you deserve. Okay, so get you some professional help so that you can make sure that all that stuff done properly. It'll save you so much more money, even if you have to pay to get it done. I'm telling you right now, a lot of folks, again, once they do their taxes themselves, I've had to amend so many tax returns that people attempt to do themselves. They miss deductions, they miss taking credits, and a lot of times they're not getting as much money as they should be getting back. Okay, so consider professional help if you're really not aware of all of the tax credits and all of those deductions and all of the rules. All right, so very, very, very important. Don't take it very lightly, okay? All right, guys. So, hey, Karen Jones, thanks for jumping in. Lorna Smith, thank you for the hearts. Laverne, this is why I come to you. That's right. This is why I come to you. Yes. And when you come to PROBY'S, of course, make sure that you get all of your deductions. Make sure that you get as much money as you can back, all of your credits. We go the whole 9 yards to make sure that your return is accurate and you get every dime that you can get back illegally. Okay. So once again, let's go over these tips to make tax filing easier in 2024. So we have to face this tune. We need to get these taxes done. We're going to get an extension, or we're definitely going to get them done anyway. You still have to file them. And one of the things I want to let you guys know, if you don't file your taxes and you should file them, the government will file them for you. And if they do, they don't take any deductions. They will just file them taxes. Whatever you owe, that's what you owe. So again, super important, right? Let's jump into the first point today. Let's recap this. Review your filing tax status. Very important. Or tax status changes every year. Stuff happens. You're married, you're divorced, you're separated, you have kids, you have dependents, you no longer have dependents. There's all these circumstances will change your tax status. Know what that is before you get your taxes done. Second point, understand standard deductions. If you're not able to write off any deductions, own a home, all of that good stuff, don't worry. There's standard deductions the government allow you to use as a deduction to reduce your taxable income based on your filing status. So don't worry about, I don't have a house. No, you can get standard deduction and it's just as good, right? So, and the third point, consider professional assistance. If you are in doubt, if you're not aware of how to do your taxes yourself and take the deductions and the credits that you deserve, if you're a little concerned about this, guys, it is worth paying professional help. Make sure they're certified, make sure they know what they're doing. It will help you relieve the stress and make sure that you get all of the credits, all of the deductions, everything you can legally take and get more money back in your pocket. So if you don't understand this, get some professional help. And with that said, that brings me to, hey, Angie, thanks for jumping in here. All right. So if you if you need professional help, of course, I want you guys to make sure that you tune in to PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, which is where we make tax filing easy, right? So PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, everything is done virtually. We will do your taxes no matter where you are. You can just upload it to our website. We make your life much easier that way. We make it very simple. We make sure you get all your deductions. We make sure you get all your credits. We make sure you get more money back than, you know, if you try to do it yourself and miss credits and deductions. So call PROBY'S Tax and Accounting at 323-290-9034 and visit our website, and you can make a 50-minute appointment to speak to me if you need any clarity with any of this stuff, and I'll be happy to discuss it with you guys. Okay, so with that said, that brings me to, and before I leave this place, the S Corporation Partnership tax filing deadline is tomorrow. That's the 15th is tomorrow. So make sure that you get an extension and or get those taxes filed. Okay, so don't forget that March 15th deadline, very important. Super penalty if you don't. So that brings me to our workshop. We still have that in the works after this whole tax filing crunch. We're going to get to that workshop and make sure that you guys come back and pay attention to that, get some good information there for free. And we'll be back here every Tuesday and Thursday. ElaineSdesk.com. So you want to make sure that you tune into that. This is where all that workshop information is going to be, okay? ElaineSdesk.com. As a matter of fact, there's so much stuff there now. You guys go to ElaineSdesk.com and check out all those videos. There's a lot of information on there regarding your business, okay? And your business success. So go to ElaineSdesk.com and check it out. All right, so I think that's it, right? Every Tuesday and Thursday, make sure you come back right here. Hit like and share on this video, guys, so that everyone can get this information. Karen says, when is the workshop? So Karen, it's going to be after the tax deadline, April 15th. I don't know if we have a date set, but I'm going to make sure that you get that information, because once again, I want to make sure that you get in that workshop, okay? So we'll make sure that you get in there. So yeah, so with that said, we will be back here next Tuesday. She said, take care of each other. We'll be back here next Tuesday. And once again, I want to make sure that you guys are taking care of yourself mentally and physically. So with that said, I want you guys to make sure that you, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday afternoon. And I said, thanks. Make sure that I'm trying to read all these comments. Make sure that you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday afternoon. And if you guys, I want you to have a fabulous weekend. On Friday nights, I usually, relaxes and regroup and recharge at Little Belize Karaoke Fridays. So this is what I do. So I hope you guys either come and hang out with me there or do something so you can get rid of all the stress from the week and then go through the weekend and be back Monday all ready to go and be more and more effective. And you guys, with that said, I want you guys to have a wonderful rest of your Thursday afternoon, and you guys take care of each other and take care of yourself. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.